I wanted to ask, what role do you think that filmmakers have in shaping perceptions of accountability?
Oh, I think filmmakers have all kinds of power in shaping accountability, perceptions of accountability. So if you're not, if you're not doing a documentary, right, like you can create the world that you want to see. So what is the world that you want to see? Like, but I've come to the bad things will always happen. There will all I don't think we can eradicate violence against women entirely. Sadly, I just think this is what humans do, but we can mitigate it and we can be vigilant and like I would never give up on wanting to eradicate, right? That's the goal. So films as a form of art, especially like I was saying, if they're not a documentary film, you have a creative license to be like, what would the ideal situation of what happened to that, like, taking this film trauma if it weren't an Iranian film and portraying like the Iranian experience, and if it were a country in Scandinavia where perhaps there's a little bit better accountability for men who commit violence. I actually don't know that, so like don't quote me on that because I don't know, but I'm assuming. Um, yeah, what would that look like? What would that feel like? And I think that that's kind of a fun thing too. But you're bringing up this point like where it's like a plot point or like something to like reel us in, like it's more like the why does that thing reel us in? Like why is that violence something that like gets us excited, in whatever way? And why is that something like that we want to watch? Do we want to watch it? I don't know. And like and then how it's handled after. Like yeah, I think I would be so curious to have that conversation with some of our filmmakers actually. And like how much are they trying to create the world that they want to see versus the world that's around us to give us an opportunity to reflect on who we are, right? Because either you can make a film that shows the worst of humanity and then it's like a mirror being held up and being like, see how awful we are, like don't you want to do better? Or you can create a film that is not the mirror, it's the ideal, and then that starts conversations of like, oh, how do we get there? That felt really good, right? Like, yes, bad things happen and we can address them in a healthy way. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I read comics and there's this very big archetype called women in refrigerators. Basically, there was a very popular superhero and he came home and he found that his wife was killed and put in his refrigerator, and that made him become a stronger superhero, give him more depth, give him more, basically make him more interesting. And that became kind of like a common thing that started becoming more and more prominent in comics. And I think that over time, we're seeing that gradually more and more in film. And I just think that education is really important.